Hey guys, Cyborg back again. Yesterday I recorded my gear video about the camera equipment that I'm bringing, and today I'm doing the gear for just my hiking gear video. So let's get started. It's a little bit different from last year. I changed some stuff in and out, so you're definitely going to see some new stuff. It's not going to be the same gear from last year. All right, so let's get started. So first thing first is the pack. This is the ULA Ohm 2.0. It's a size medium. I took out the hydration insert, the hydration bladder insert, and the mesh pocket insert, and it weighs, I want to say 25 to 26 ounces. I love this pack. This is my favorite pack I've ever owned. I like it better than the CDT, a lot better than the CDT. The hip pockets on the side are super stretchy. I can fit a lot of stuff in there. So it's just very, very convenient. It has the huge mesh pocket in the front, stretch mesh pocket, so I can fit a ton of stuff on the outside of my pack. And overall, it's just a very big pack. So, not to mention the hip belt pockets on them are massive, which I really like. And while I'm at it, I'll just show you what's in my hip belt pockets. Gotta have chapstick. This is my bleach. This is what I use to purify my water. It's a lot cheaper than Aquamira. I have my stick pick, a knife, and that's it. So that's what's in my hip belt pocket of my pack. And I also just have a watch on my pack as well. Okay, so next up, my sleeping bag. This is a GoLite Z10 sleeping bag. It weighs 2 pounds, 2 ounces, size regular. It's 800, I believe it's 850 plus filled down. It has like a Pertex Quantum fabric on the outside, and then on the head and the foot box, it has a waterproof material on it actually, which is nice. So if you're rubbing up against your tent and there's condensation, your bag won't get wet, which I really like a lot. And it's super lofty. This bag actually won warmest bag by Backpacker magazine, so I know it was a legit bag before I bought it. So that was one of the selling points for me. And being that I'm starting February 15th, having a warm bag that I know is going to keep me warm is huge. And with that, excuse me, I dropped my Twizzlers. Before that, or with that, what I'm going to be keeping that in is a Z-Packs 9.5 liter dry sack. I'm not using a compression sack because I can just compress the bag into the stuff sack and then roll it down, and that'll keep it compressed because once it's rolled, it won't roll back up. So this will keep my bag nice and dry. Has this nice Velcro top. Stuff the bag down in there, close the Velcro, and just roll it back down. Oh, and one more thing with the pack. I have a pack cover. I normally don't like a pack cover because I also use a trash compactor bag. But being that I'm starting February 15th and there's going to be freezing rain and snow, I think the pack cover is a better move. One, because I have stuff on the outside of my pack that I don't want to get frozen. I don't care if it gets wet, but frozen, I don't want to get frozen. So the pack cover will prevent that, along with the trash compactor bag keeping everything dry on the inside of my pack. Okay, so next up, this is my tent. This is the Z-Packs Solplex. It's one of their newest line of tents they have. With stakes, this tent weighs 17.2 ounces on my scale, and it weighs under a pound without stakes. So that's a really nice tent. And I've set it up, but I haven't actually slept in it overnight. But my observations with it, it was very roomy and just overall a great tent. The vestibule is huge on it. It's a side entry tent, which I like a lot better than front entry tents, just a lot more roomy. And it sets up with my 2 trekking poles, which are right here. They're just the same ones from last year, REI Power Lock trekking poles with the cork handles. And that tent is probably going to change because my girlfriend is joining me on the hike, and we're going to be buying a Big Agnes Copper Spur 2, which is like 2 pounds, 12 ounces, and split up between the two of us. It's not going to weigh that much either. So that tent is probably not going to get used at all, unfortunately, but that's okay because the Big Agnes Copper Spur 2 is a really good tent. I would buy the Duplex, I think it's called the Duplex from Z-Packs, but it's like almost $600, if not over $600, so it's not really in my budget right now. Okay, so next up we'll do clothes. What I have, this is going to be the bottoms that I'm going to be using while I'm hiking. First off, I have these pair of Nike running tights. They're thin, but they have a fleece lining to them, so they are relatively warm. They're not windproof, but they are warm. That'll be supplemented. I'll have my shorts over that, and then if it gets, if it's really windy out, I'll use my rain gear. I'll have my, these are Marmot Precip pants, so I'll do the running tights with the shorts, and if it's too windy, I'll do the Marmot Precip rain pants. And if it's just unbearably cold, I have these Under Armour 3.0 base layers, which are really warm. So if I have to hike in them, then I have to hike in them. But it's February 15th, so it's gonna be cold. I'm not, I'm not oblivious to that, so definitely know it's gonna be cold. So yeah, like I said, I have the Marmot Precip rain pants then, and I also have my Marmot Essence rain jacket. The jacket weighs like 6 ounces, and the pants weigh I think like 8 or 9. And then also I have these Z-Packs Cuban rain mitts, which are really nice. They say that Cuban doesn't have as good abrasion resistance as Sil Nylon, but these are made out of the 1.42 ounce per square yard of Cuban fiber, so they're a little bit thicker. And I've read reviews and people said they lasted, a whole through hike, if not more. So I'm not worried about these failing on me. And I'm only going to be using them when it's cold too. So, they're only going to be there I'm only going to be using them for 2 months. So, okay, so next up is my clothes, my top layers while I'm hiking. First off, for a base layer, if it's really cold out, which it's going to be certain situations, I have this Under Armour. It's thick. It's called Under Armour Metal. That's what they call it. It's insulated. You can see it has like a fleece material on the inside, which is nice, but it also has breathable armpit area, so that's nice as well. So that'll keep me ventilated, and it'll also keep me warm. So that if it's really cold, I'll wear that. I also have this Stoic merino wool top. It's a really light top. It's like a 200 weight or 150 weight or 200 weight top. So it's pretty light, but it does keep me warm. I've used it before in the cold, and it has a quarter zip, so I can use that to breathe as well. And I gotta have a t-shirt on the off chance that it is hot. So this is my Go Light t-shirt, which I'll be wearing every day on top of my, my bottom base layer. And then as like I guess as a top, it's a mid layer, but it'll probably be worn on the outside if I'm not wearing my rain jacket. I have a Nike, it's just a Nike running jacket. It has these little fleece little bumps on the inside, and it acts to keep the heat in, but it lets moisture out, so it's a nice wicking jacket. And it actually is windproof to a degree because I've worn it in pretty strong winds, and the wind doesn't go through it at all, which is nice. And I know I have, a decent amount of layers, but they're all, they're not super thick, heavy layers. They're all relatively thin layers that I can take on and off and put in my pack when it's, when it's warm or when it gets cold. I can put more on. So I'd rather have a lot of a lot of thinner layers than like 2 really big layers that, I don't have a lot of versatility with. And I'm starting February 15th, like I said. So I know I'm gonna need layers to keep me warm, so I'm not worried about carrying the extra weight. I can send it all home once it gets warm. And then I also have another Under Armour. This is gonna be for camp, just another Under Armour base layer. So that'll be for camp. And then you can't forget about the socks. So I have these are merino wool socks made by Wigwam. They're pretty thick pair. I'm gonna use them for camp. And then I just have 2 pairs of Darn Tough socks, which I'll be hiking in. And then I also have a pair of Outdoor Research gloves, which and then you saw the Cuban rain mitts already. And then what I didn't show you with my rain gear is I have these are Mountain Laurel Designs gaiters. They're the long ones, so they'll go from my shoes all the way up till just below my knee. I've never used gaiters before, so I can't say I don't like them, but I find them that they're going to be necessary for me this year, because as we know, this winter is pretty bad, just like last year. It's going to be a lot of snow, so if I can prevent any snow from getting into my shoes, then I want to use these. And these are light too. They're only like, I want to say 2 ounces for the 2 ounces for the pair, 2 ounces a piece or whatever, but it's not, either way, it's not heavy, and they're really, really comfortable too. You don't really feel them at all. So, and what I got to keep my clothes in, last year I had just an Outdoor Research dry sack. This year I went for a Z-Packs Cuban pillow dry sack. It's a little bit bigger than the last one, but it actually weighs less. And the cool thing about it is it has, if you can see this, on the one side it has Cuban fiber, and on the one side of the inside it has a fleece material. So I can flip this inside out at night and put any extra clothes in it and use it as a pillow. So, you know, it doubles as a pillow, so it's a multi-use item, and any item that you can use as a multi-use item is perfect because you keep your weight down. Okay, so next up are my shoes. I'm going to be using, they're all by La Sportiva. I've been using these shoes for a while. These are the Sportiva Raptors. They don't even make these anymore, but these are my original pair. They have probably like 400 miles on them right now, but they are still kicking. They have a good amount of tread still on the bottom of them. So I figure I'll start off with these until I absolutely can't use them anymore. And then I'll switch to the Sportiva Ultra Raptors, which are basically the same thing. They just have more colors, I guess you would say. But I'll switch to these. And then my last pair will be these. These are the Sportiva Wildcats. These are the lightest pair. So since I'm starting in February, my last pair, these are going to breathe a lot because they're almost all mesh. But they still have the same sole, so they're going to be, you know, rugged still and be light. So, you know, when I'm going to need my feet to breathe a lot, so these are going to be good towards the end because I'll be finishing in probably August, and it's going to be a little bit chilly, but in Maine probably. But at the same time, these are going to be nice to keep my feet breathing. All right, so before I talked about my water purification, what am I going to keep my water in? Same thing as last year. I've always used these. These are the Smart Water 1 liter water bottles. These are great because they're tall, but they're also thin, so I can fit 2 of these on one side of my Ohm 2.0 side pockets, and I can actually fit 3 of these. So if I was in a dry spot, I could actually fit 3 on one side in one of those pockets because they're so big. And these are just, for me, these are the most convenient ones that you can use. Oh, and also the one thing I like about the Ohm 2.0 with the water bottle is some pockets, there's some packs, side pockets, they ride too high, so it's really awkward to reach back and get the water bottle or whatever you have back there. But the side pockets ride actually pretty low on the pack, so they're very easy, very accessible, so you can just reach back there and pull out the water bottle with no problem. Okay, so next up, we have my cook kit. Ooh, just dropped my spork. Okay, so it's the same cook kit as last year. I have the Snow Peak Titanium Spork. This is a bandana just to clean my cook pot out with. This is the Snow Peak 900 milliliter titanium cook pot. It's a little big, but I like to eat a lot. As you noticed from my other videos, I carry a ton of food, and this year is going to be no exception. I'm going to start carrying dried couscous and quinoa and stuff like that, so just change it up from the everyday ramen because that stuff gets old after a while. So this will definitely be enough room. This is my lid I just made out of aluminum foil. I've been using this for about a year now, and it's the same one, and it's still working fine, and it saves a lot of weight from the other titanium lid that was over the pot. I just have a lighter. This is a stove in here, but but I'm gonna be using an MSR pocket rocket because I just like it better. And then I also have just the MSR fuel canister. And then it all conveniently folds back up into itself, and it goes right back into the stuff sack. Okay, and these are a few things. Well, this is my my ditty bag, I guess you would say. It's another Cuban Fibers small regular stuff sack. It's not a dry sack, but it just has various things like my bear rope. It has my headlamp in it, which is it's a black diamond spot headlamp, which is 90 lumens, so it's very bright, so it's awesome for night hiking. I've night hiked a lot with that, and it's just like walking in the sun. I mean, it illuminates everything around you. It's insane. And then I also have this fancy gizmo gadget. This is a Anchor. The brand is Anchor, and it's basically a device charger, an electronics charger. So unfortunately, I can't charge my, what do you call it? My camera batteries with it, but I can charge my cell phone. So when I do my YouTube updates, I can do more video on the trail, and I can recharge it up to about 2.5 times. And then I have just my toothbrush in here. I have my little mini first aid kit with vitamin I, which is ibuprofen, and headache medicine. Toothbrush, that's pretty much it. Then this is my stuff sack that I keep my toilet paper in. I keep that on the outside of my pack, so it's in the dry sack. I find this to work very well because if you need to get to it quick, you don't have it like stuffed in your pack. It's just on the outside mesh pocket, so I can just reach in and get it and go. And then this is my food dry sack. It's just an Outdoor Research 15-liter Ultra Sil dry sack, which I had this last year. And then also, this is my NeoAir X-Lite. I haven't said my sleeping pad yet, which I should have probably before, but it's just the regular size yellow one. It's 72 inches long, and it weighs 12 ounces, which is 13 with the stuff sack. I weighed it the other day. Okay, so this is the newest addition to my arsenal of jackets. When I was doing my clothes before, I didn't show this. This is a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisper down jacket with the hood. This thing is a tank. It weighs only 8 ounces. This is the large. It weighs about 8 ounces. It has the hood, like I said. It has two hand pockets, and it folds into its own side, its own hand pocket as a stuff sack. It's extremely warm. It's windproof. I've worn this before. Last week it got down to -5 here in PA, and I wore this outside and I stayed completely warm. The wind was blowing. It was going right around me as opposed to through me because this is, because like I said, it's windproof, and it's this thing for 8 ounces. It kept me extremely warm, and I was very impressed with it. So this is going with me on the trail, and I love this thing. I'm very glad I bought it. I got a huge deal on it because these retail at like over $300 right now, and on one of the hiking forums, a guy was selling this brand new with the tags for $165, and I was lucky enough to be the first one to, get to it, so go me. Also, yesterday I mentioned, if you saw my camera gear video, you saw that you heard that I mentioned carrying my camera equipment in that Mountain Smith bag, and then I said I would wrap it in, wrap each lens and the camera in a dry sack. Well, these came today. That's why you see all the Cuban Z-Pack stuff sacks. The order came in today. This is the 2.2, it's a 2.2 liter Cuban dry sack. And I had all I wrapped the lens up in there before and the camera just to see how it would fit. And they all fit perfectly in the pack with them on, which is great. I'm still waiting on 2 more to show up because I only have 1 right now of these, but I'm waiting for 2 more to show up, and they fit perfectly. So definitely was a good idea on my part that I thought about this, because this is going to be great. This way I don't have to put my camera gear in my backpack when it rains, or in my, my pack when it rains. I can just keep everything up front, and this will keep everything dry, because I have I'm going to get one for each of the lens and the camera. So my last piece of gear I haven't, I didn't show you my hat. And I also have a, like a face mask that I'm getting, but I didn't buy it yet because I went to Dick's Sporting Goods the other day and they were all sold out of them. So I have to order it. It's just like an Under Armour. It goes around your head. It's like a balaclava thing, but it doesn't have just 2 eye holes and a mouth hole. It has like a whole opening for your eyes, and then it goes all the way around your head and then down your neck too. So that'll be good for the cold. And then also my hat. All right, so in case you didn't know, I have incredible beard growing powers, and I'm able to just grow a beard on the spot. So I have this cool hat, and now I have a cool trail beard too. It didn't take me long to grow it. It took me about 1 second. All I had to do was put on my hat. It's pretty spiffy, if I do say so myself. It's called, this, all right, I'll stop now. This hat, it's called a beardo. It's just, it's a really nice wool knit hat with a wool knit beard. And it's not itchy at all because the material they use is just, it's not itchy at all. So it doesn't, you know, itch your face, irritate anything. So this will definitely, it's just a funny thing to have, but at the same time, it actually is practical because it'll keep my, you know, face warm. And then I also will have that balaclava thing, and that'll keep me warm as well. So, and the cool thing about this hat is the beard is removable. So if I don't want to wear the beard, I don't have to, because I can't really grow a beard anyway. If you remember from 2012, my videos, I was on the trail for 2 months and you could barely tell that I had facial hair. It was pretty pathetic. So this is the closest I'll get to having a beard, as sad as that is. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for all my gear. Just a couple things that I said I didn't have that I was getting, like the hat and whatnot. That's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be posting, I'll probably post a couple more videos before I head out February 15th. Just some more tests, probably some test videos for my camera and testing out my new audio equipment and whatnot. I'm still using my lav mic, but I want to start using the shotgun microphone and then the stereo microphone on the Zoom H4n that I bought. So that's pretty much it, guys. If I forget anything, I'll post what I forget down in the descriptions. If you have any questions about anything, like anything that you think I might have missed, like that you carry, that you didn't see in my video, please let me know and I'll tell you why I don't have that, or maybe I just forgot it. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.